Living in North Idaho, we are exposed to many different things that people in other states or cities may not be exposed to. These are things like hunting, animals roaming around the streets, and people even being armed. One of the things that I've gotten into is competitive shooting. There are many different games in competitive shooting, three of which are skeet, trap, and sporting clays. The thing that I'm most interested in, as well as my family, is sporting clays, and today I'm going to give you a little background on it. The things I'm going to talk about today are how it originated, where and how you can get into the sport and like the requirements that go along with it, and also the benefits of the sport, things that will benefit you and your life. Sporting clays originated in England and Scotland. This was around 1850 when there was still a major population problem there. The main problem being is that people still needed to hunt, but there was no space for them to do so, and if too many people hunted, then they would hunt out the land and basically leave people with nothing. So in order to stop this, nobles claimed hunting land, but the problem was only the nobles were able to hunt there. Ways to get onto the land was if the noble were to grant you permission, but the only way to be granted permission was to be proficient at hunting itself. You weren't allowed to go onto the land unless you could prove that you were a dead shot, basically, and you wouldn't miss your target and you would kill in one hit. This was because nobles didn't want their property trashed, other people getting hurt, or animals being wounded and dragged off. So what basically started was that a person saw kids skipping clay across ponds. They'd take clay plates and pots and they would just launch them like a frisbee across ponds. So the thing that they did was they made a clay ball and they basically loaded it into a pulley system, and when you yanked on the cord, the clay pot would get thrown over the air over a lake. Now clay is biodegradable, so nobody even noticed it, but people would take turns shooting at it. This was revolutionary because it gave people a way to practice hunting, become more proficient, and allow it to not become such a noble sport, but also something for people who just were interested in the shooting sport or for the military to practice. So the targets were meant to replicate live animals, birds, doves, and ducks, for the most part. This allowed people to practice on targets and get the real-life experience, but not hurt or wound animals needlessly. This also created the first way for military to train with shotgun and black powder, and it also created competition courses. There were competitions all over the world springing up from it, and actually the first major sporting clays competition, according to the Olympic Sporting Clay website, was between Scotland and England. Scotland ended up winning, but it was a close tie, or a close run. So sporting clays can't just be anywhere. They have to be on mostly reservation land, and that's because government facilities are generally not that big. And you need a couple miles for sporting clays because of how far targets go, different target presentations, and that can be targets flying from the sides, coming over the top of you, or even some launching straight up in the air or rolling around on the ground. Obviously, this takes a lot of space and needs several miles of land. The two sporting clay facilities located here are both on Indian land, Double Barrel and Black Dog. Those are the places I go to. So it also needs to be far out and on the reservation because people cannot be around it, because not only can the risk of guns, but also the risk of targets breaking, the wind picking them up and sending them flying. So sporting clays facilities can't just also be made out of concrete. They are almost 90% of the time made out of just the natural land. They use trees for cover, and they're made to replicate animals in flight or running as much as humanly possible. They also use the trees for obstacle courses, like sending targets curling around them for more practice, for more experienced shooters and hunters. A lot of the time, sporting clays facilities also double as private hunting areas, and because they're in a natural area, animals do in fact live there. So people take guided tours and hunts out there all the time. While not only being a fun pastime, sporting clays also has a lot of other benefits, like increasing hand-eye coordination. It's also the best way to teach younger people how to shoot, and also experienced shooters to practice. I was personally taught by Ben Higgs, who is the NIC coach, and the things he was able to teach me off that was amazing. It applies for every single life discipline. It shows up-close targets, far-away targets, and any in between. It teaches you real-life experience in not only hunting, but also just practice shooting, demo shooting, or even self-defense. So it helps people become better shooters through different target presentations. So hopefully I was able to inform you a little bit about sporting clays and show you how well it is to teach people how to shoot and also how to just become a better shot yourself with it. Thank you for taking the time to listen to the speech, and I hope you enjoyed it.